guide to show you where. Henderson says always pack so you can carry your luggage onto the plane.
That's my general favorite travel tip, is if you can avoid checking bags, that'll help you a lot.
Of course, not every trip affords packing light, and oftentimes the plane is full. That means overhead space fills up fast. When that happens, gate check.
Not only are you getting that bag checked for free, but then sometimes it's waiting for you on the jet bridge.
A lot of his tips are part of the travel canon. Get to the airport early, prepare yourself for flight delays, and speaking of delays, he says it helps to do a little homework.
If you have the airline app installed on your phone, if something goes wrong, you can potentially rebook yourself on your own phone.
In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
If you've paid for a Clear or TSA membership to avoid long lines at security checkpoints at the airport, you may have found lately that it isn't as fast as it used to be. Reporter Elsa Ramon has that story.
People who bought a Clear or TSA membership to breeze through airport security are disappointed and frustrated. The membership doesn't always help them speed through. Brett Snyder of the Cranky Concierge Air Travel Service says people are signing up for those clearances more than ever.
But now they have ways to sign up for TSA PreCheck pretty easily. And, I don't remember the exact price right now, but it's less than $100 for 5 years, if I remember right. And so, there's a definite benefit to that. Even if the lines are longer, there's still a definite benefit.
But Snyder says staffing issues could also clog the paid line.
You have a partner line also financial quality for your TSA. And, how many do you put toward a regular line? How many do you put toward a pre-check line? You have to make those decisions based on what you have and what you expect demand to be.
Even if the lines are longer for the paid security checkpoints, Snyder says it's still a smoother experience not having to take off your shoes or your belt or take your laptop out of your bag.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. BART's board of directors has elected a new leader for 2024, and he says BART's in a year of transition. More from KCBS's Jade Hernandez.
BART's board of directors just elected former San Francisco supervisor and current board member Bevan Duffy as their new board president. Duffy served as president just before the pandemic in 2019. So what does that mean for BART today?
We are looking at a year of transition because of the 5 BART directors that are up for election this coming November. Of that group, 4 have already indicated that we're not going to be seeking re-election.
And that includes Duffy himself. His election didn't come without a brief debate on the nomination process, but he said,
I think I bring to the table is a real sense of how do we make this transition a successful one.
the newly elected President Duffy will be overseeing quite a few new projects which are already underway.
It'll be overall a 2-year effort to install all the fare gates, and I think it's a really exciting process, and I think you'll see a lot of thought went into the development of these fare gates.
Mark Foley was elected as the board's vice president. Jade Hernandez, KCBS.
Stardate December 23rd. The planet Vulcan of Star Trek fame is hot, rocky, and desolate, and a long, long way from Earth. In the 1800s, many astronomers believed there really was a planet Vulcan. It, too, would have been hot, rocky, and desolate, but much closer to home. In fact, they suspected it was orbiting quite close to the Sun. Astronomers got the idea that there must be another planet by plotting the orbit of Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun. Each time Mercury came closest to the Sun, it was a bit farther along in its orbit than the time before. Most of this change was caused by the tug of Venus, Earth, and other planets, but a tiny portion of it couldn't be explained. French astronomer Urbain Le Verrier said that an unseen planet or asteroid belt inside Mercury's orbit was pulling at Mercury. His calculations had led to the discovery of Neptune, so astronomers took him seriously. The planet was named Vulcan for a Roman god of fire. It would be so small and so near the sun that it would be visible only during a solar eclipse, when the moon blocked the sun from view, or when the planet passed directly in front of the sun. A solar eclipse in 1878 gave astronomers a chance to look for the planet. Despite their efforts, it was nowhere to be seen. Vulcan was put to rest for good by Albert Einstein. He showed that the sun warps the space around it, perfectly accounting for the discrepancies in Mercury's orbit. You can follow us on social media and through our website, stardate.org. For the McDonald Observatory, I'm Billy Henry. KCBS News Time is 10:25.
Apple has to stop selling some of its best-selling items just in time for Christmas. The International Trade Commission has ruled Apple's most popular smartwatches infringe any patents served by the Massimo Corporation to measure blood oxygen levels. So the series name and Alpha 2 smartwatches starts being sold online. We can't expect to start sales by tomorrow. But Redbush analyst Dan Ives says this is not the big deal. It sounds like.
I view this as sort of noise.
Part of the reason you still can get the watches at Best Buy or other retailers. The other reason Ives says is Apple itself. Just look at the stop sale timing.
There's a recognition where you don't want to poke the bear.
He believes Apple is big enough that regulatory and government bodies do take its influence into consideration, but he doesn't see this as the end of Apple's patent problems. However, when it comes to smartwatch sales, he does think there will be a lot of Christmas trees come Monday. Joe Gallagher, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
This December, Total Wine & More has super exciting ways to get some of your favorites at the lowest prices possible. These deals are so amazing, we should probably just call it Deal December. Absolute vodka is $9.99, Jameson is only $14.99, and Malibu coconut rum is only $7.99 when you buy 2 bottles. It's Deal December at Total Wine & More, where you'll find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More. Prices effective on 750 ml, only now through December 31st. Drink responsibly.
Anyone with a license to practice law can represent you when you've been injured. Any lawyer can call the insurance company and try to resolve your case. But if the insurance company says, go fly a kite, not every lawyer is willing to take your case to court. The worst thing is when the insurance company decides that it's cheaper to wear you down than it is to pay you the amount they owe you. So they just keep throwing lawyers at you, gambling that your law firm won't be willing to cover the expense of a long, protracted fight. At Habit Law, we believe that a personal injury lawyer should take care of every client like they were a member of their own family. That's one of the things we do, and we do it very well. That's why we don't back away when insurance companies dare us to match them to no extra terms. We believe in you. We believe in your case, and we believe we can win. Call Habit Law at 1-800-INJURED. When you talk with Habit Law, your day gets a whole lot better. Back to Oakland we go, Joe Hoskinson with our latest look at traffic.
Yeah, we do have all lanes presently being held on northbound 13 just before Park Boulevard. The scene of an accident involving 2 cars. The CHP started a traffic break at Crossing, and at this point all lanes are being held, possibly so they can get these cars maybe off the shoulder or access the freeway. The northbound 13 traffic is slow approaching Park. The other problem that we are watching in Oakland is westbound 580. Just before 80, a 3-car crash in the second lane from the left. CHP is currently running a traffic break here as well. Your next update, 10:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Partly cloudy tonight in the Bay Area. Overnight lows in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with some patchy morning fog. Highs upper 50s and then 60s. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip of every Warriors game throughout the season as we get you ready for the action. Brought to you by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network.
In California, we're on a journey to make energy cleaner, safer, and more reliable. At PG&E, our goal is to get there without leaving any family behind. We're undergrounding lines because it's safer and more affordable in the long run. We're helping our customers lower costs by choosing the right energy plan and taking control of their bills with predictable budget billing. As your hometown utility, we won't stop until we deliver the safe, reliable, renewable, and affordable energy you deserve. News that matters to you. Around the day, around the world, around the clock. All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
It's Saturday, December 23rd, 2023. Coming up on KCBS, low gas prices for the holiday weekend. Also,
I'm Raquel Maria Dillon in Oakland, where political candidates are rallying around a local business hit again, but time to plan for changes in leadership and promote their campaign.
and Narcan is used to revive 3 men on bark in a single day. Good evening. I'm Peter Finch. KCBS News Time, 10:31.
CBS News Brief. President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke by phone Saturday about Israel's military campaign in Gaza. The BBC's Sue Montgomery.
Mr. Netanyahu's office said he made it clear that Israel would continue the war until it subjects the
The White House says the president, quote, emphasized the critical need to protect civilians in Gaza. Most Americans won't get a white Christmas, but some sure will, says the Weather Channel meteorologist Bob Goodlow.
There's cold air and some snow across the high country of the West. Look for plenty of snow to fall for your Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we're watching snow break out across parts of the northern and central plains, maybe a foot or more.
If you're driving home for the holidays, you're paying less to do so, says CBS's Wendy Gillette.
What all drivers are seeing, lower prices at the pump, down around 15 cents a gallon compared to a month ago. More than half of Americans are seeing prices under $3 a gallon.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
KCBS News Time 10:32 as our News Watch continues this Saturday night. Tax time is stressful for many Americans, but it really doesn't have to be. Ready Return, a system widely used in European countries, could save many Americans time, money, and worry. For more, KCBS's Jennifer Hodges spoke with Professor Ryan Wilson, Henry Sidney Chair in Accounting at the University of Iowa.
So tell us a little bit about what Ready Return actually is. How does it work?
Sure. It can work a little bit differently depending on what country you're talking about, but the basic idea would be that the taxpayer would receive from the government like a draft copy of their return, where the IRS would use third-party information from employers and banks to complete the return, as well as information from previous year's return. So the taxpayer would then receive the draft, and they could attest to its accuracy and sign off on it, or there's additional information that needs to be added, they could add to that and file the return. So for a lot of Americans, information the IRS already collects from third parties would be sufficient to accurately complete the return.
So you said that it could help about 90% of Americans. So why is the U.S. not using it? I mean, is this something that was ever or has ever been considered?
Yeah, it's been considered several times. I think President Reagan actually initially proposed this idea in the early 1980s, and they weren't able to get it through. Now, President George W. Bush implemented a program with a private software company to allow people access to a free filing, but there was some contention there, and some of the software companies dropped out of that program. It wasn't as successful as they had hoped, but California and Colorado have run pilot programs with pre-filed tax returns, and more recently in the House they proposed a tax filing simplification act, which, if it was passed, would mean pre-filed returns for taxpayers. So there's been a lot of effort along this dimension, and I think there's about 40 countries that have these types of programs, but in the United States we're one of the few that we're not quite there yet. So.
Are there any risks to using the system?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot to consider. I mean, it would take a pretty significant upgrade in technology for the Internal Revenue Service. They use a lot of defense equipment, and so that would be a significant investment. Now, the IRS would get this budget, this Inflation Reduction Act, about $80 billion. That may be reduced to $60 billion, but some of that could be used to implement this type of a program to benefit taxpayers. I mean, an average taxpayer could have $210 and 11 hours on their tax return, so that's just an incredible amount of time. That adds up to $33 billion. Spent on tax compliance, and for a lot of people have relatively simple situations where they're just out earned income and wages, maybe some pension benefits and some 1099s. This would mean they wouldn't have to spend that amount of money. It's also kind of regressive, right? Because the lower income taxpayers are going to bear a much higher proportion of their income on these costs than higher income taxpayers. So there's also other
know, there have been some experimental studies where, would taxpayers, if they received a pre-filed return and it wasn't correct, those groups of taxes underestimated, would they correct it? There's some evidence that when they prepare their own return, this is a bit more accurately. And there's also this general distrust of the government. It would sort of fundamentally change the relationship between the taxpayers.
That's Ryan Wilson. He's an accounting professor at the University of Iowa. Robbers have hit a donut shop near Oakland's Lake Merritt twice in the past week. 3 times since June, political candidates and community activists in Oakland are using the incidents to call for action from city leaders. KCBS's Raquel Maria Dillon has more.
Colonial Donuts in Lakeshore Avenue, Oakland was robbed for a third time this year Saturday morning. Brenda Lee read a statement from the owner, Ping Yamamoto. I still love Oakland, but when will Oakland love us back? When will our city leaders help protect the citizens of Oakland so that people and businesses are not closing and leaving Oakland? The group that rallied outside the donut shop took it a step further, calling for police patrols and a state of emergency, accusing city leaders of glossing over the city's dismal crime statistics. Here's Chris Moore, a candidate for Alameda County Supervisor from District 5.
And that's why I'm running for this district. We're going to bring change. We're going to bring county. We're going to bring the sheriff in here to help.
Moore wants change at the top and called out Mayor Sheng Tao and Councilmember Nikki Fortunato back.
Recall Price! Recall Price!
He also called for the recall of Alameda County's top prosecutor, District Attorney Pamela Price. In Oakland, I'm Raquel Maria Dillon, KCBS.
Lanes have reopened following a crash. Highway 13 in Oakland will check traffic in just 60 seconds.
Cover California is a free service from the state that's already helped millions of people like you get and pay for health insurance. With financial help to lower the cost of health coverage, you could get a quality health plan for less than $10 a month. Every plan covers preventive care, doctor visits, emergency care, and more. If you have questions, we're here to help every step of the way. Cover California, this way to health insurance. Enroll by December 31st at coveredca.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contract. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless. Available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
As promised, Joe Hoskinson is back, and he's got a look at traffic.
And better news in Oakland. We have 2 crashes in Oakland, and both of them have cleared. Let's go to northbound 13 before Park Boulevard. All lanes have been held for a short while, but all the cars involved in this collision have been taken off the freeway. So the delays that we have seen on northbound 13 before Park Boulevard should start to clear up. Let's go to westbound 580. Just before the 80 turnoff, we had a 3-car crash. That was blocked in the middle lane. CHP ran a traffic brake and got those cars off the freeway, so we're looking good here as well. We do have one new problem. It's in the Napa Valley, northbound 29, just before 221. It looks like it's going to be a stall. It is blocking the second lane from the left. CHP are on their way. If you do spot a problem, the KCBS 1-Force line is open, 415-391-KCBS. Your next update, 1048 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Lots of people out and about tonight in San Francisco, including in the Union Square area and Chinatown and North Beach, and they've been enjoying some decent weather, mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 40s. We're looking at partly cloudy skies, lows in the 30s and 40s, partly cloudy tomorrow with some patchy morning fog. Some expected highs: San Francisco, Palo Alto, and Santa Rosa, 57 degrees. Oakland, Mill Valley, and Concord, 58 degrees. San Jose, 61. Sacramento, 55 degrees tomorrow. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article, or sensitive personal information about your family. Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair.